back to the shop, back to adulting, and to building this table. Actually, this table's kind of fun, so I'm enjoying it. Surf was but any day in the water's a good day. So back in the shop. Some of you may have also noticed I got an upgrade to the shop. Actually, I got a couple. That one and this one. They look very similar to my other ones, but they're just bigger. They're like the bigger brother. This is a 12-inch joiner, and that is an 18-inch bandsaw. And I replaced I had a 14-inch bandsaw that I replaced and a 8-inch joiner that I replaced. So super stoked on this one. Yeah, get to use it right now. All right, so a couple things that I'm looking at when I'm building this table is I'm looking for color variation, and I'm also looking at when you lay up a flat table like this, you want to think about how the wood's going to warp if it was going to warp or if it is going to warp. And so if you look at the end grain, and let me show you real quick. So if you look at the end grain on this table, you'll notice the pattern on this is this upside down rainbow. The one next to it is the normal shaped rainbow with it pointing, the crown pointing up. And so you want to flop them one up, one down, one up, one down, all the way across if you can. It's not always possible. It's not always that easy because you're constantly trying to hide blemishes that you want to have on the bottom of the table versus on the top, and so the boards don't always cooperate with you. But when you can, this is the pattern that you want to go for. So the other thing that I'm going for here is color variation, and I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but this side of the table on right here is darker than that side of the table. So what I want to do is try to actually stagger these darker ones throughout the lighter ones so that I get a more consistent variation in color, so that the tabletop doesn't look like it's just kind of split in two with two different types of wood. All right, I think that'll do it. Well, that was hectic. I didn't film too much of this glue up because the glue wanted to dry really quickly. It's pretty warm in the shop right now, so I was kind of working under the clock. But what I originally was going to do is glue up the whole thing except for the center, and then clamp everything together and let the glue and get the glue squeeze. But I have to do half at a time just because of the way that the glue is drying. So this side's done. Working next on the other side. Good morning. Good morning. Take these out. Everything's all dried up, ready to take out of its clamps. Alright, change of plan. I'm going to not do it through the sander. It's not working as well as I hope. It's just not as consistent because of the long piece that I'm putting through there. So what I'm going to do is actually put it through the planer and do it that way. Yeah, that worked out perfect. All right, just a quick little tip before I get too far. What I'm doing right now is I'm squaring up the ends of the table. But the reason that I'm doing this is it's twofold. One, to square up the table, but two, what I like to do when building anything, and I have to run material through a planer, is I leave all the material long. I like to leave at least like 6 inches on the end of the board in order to anticipate for snipe. And what snipe is when a board goes into the planer, it can sometimes not sit flush on the table, and it'll cause a little bit of gouging from the blade in the beginning of that board. And so instead of fighting it, I just leave it long, anticipate for it, and then after the boards are out and I glue everything up, I can cut those pieces off, and I don't have any snipe left in the board. So that's what I'm doing here. So let me show you something real quick. I didn't support the piece that was gonna fall off, and so, like an idiot. And so, you see that right there? Yeah, and of course this is the top of the table. That's nice. So I gotta make a little patch right there. It'll look fine, but really annoying. Alright, so if you remember a little bit ago, we were cutting off the end caps on this table, and I made a mistake by not supporting the cutoff piece, and it fell and took a little chunk of the table with it on this corner here. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. There it is, right there. So there's about a 2-inch piece here that was just kind of split off, and so I've got to fix that. And so I'm going to show you how to go about doing that, and when we're finished, it shouldn't be very noticeable at all. I'll make one mark right here on the outside. So now all we have to do is glue up the bottom, the inside and the outside really well. We'll slide this in, we're going to clamp it into place and let it sit and dry, and then we'll come back and trim it up and flush it out, and you'll see what it looks like. Well, the way that I designed these legs, the base in which attaches to the bottom of the table is a piece of C-channel, and what this does is when I bolt this down, it'll help prevent the table from ever cupping or bowing. So what I'm doing here is I just countersunk these pieces of channel iron into the slots that I just cut into the base of the table. And my concern was that because this is a 10-foot table and there's a lot of span between the legs, that eventually you might be getting some slumping that can happen or occur in the center of the table. And so to prevent that, I figured I might as well put this channel iron in, and I could screw it down, and that'll give it some rigidity, and it'll never allow that center of the table to make that slumping. So it may be overkill, but for peace of mind, why not? All right, all my parts came back from powder coating. They look great, and so I'm going to go ahead and put those on the table. All right, I finally get to use my $50 lift. Picked this thing up off of Craigslist for like 50 bucks and restored it, and it works awesome. So I'm gonna lift the table off the other table, flip it over onto this, and then set it down over here. All right, we're on the home stretch. So I'm gonna hit the tabletop just with a light sand on top real quick with 400 grit, and then we'll come back and we'll go ahead and put some finish on it.
You know, my great-grandpa was a carriage painter. There's a little inside joke. Actually, it's not a joke. At least I don't think so, unless my dad was joking with me. My grandpa was a carriage painter, my great-grandpa. But anytime us kids were painting anything, my dad would always tell me a story. Did you know your great-grandpa was a carriage painter? He taught your grandpa how to paint, and he taught me, so I'm going to show you how to do it properly. Now I do that stuff to my kids.
All right, so I've had time to go and deliver the tables over to ONX. It's been a couple days, so I'm going to go ahead and head back over there and take a little bit of footage and a few pictures for you guys of the final product. Hey you, come here for a second. Let me ask you a question. Did you like the video? Because if you did, hit the buttons. All of them. Like button, subscribe button, just hit all the buttons. It really helps me out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and liking and all that good stuff. And as always, Shaloha.